Go watch Michael's video.
Hey, let me see if I can jump in here and clarify this for people. We're setting a boundary. We're not being cruel, and we're not excluding you from something that you should ordinarily be able to have an opinion on. People who suffer from demelanation have had a certain lived experience that excludes the lived experience and the knowledge, the nuance, and the understanding of people of color. We see it all the time on this app. If you're looking for a good example of what we were trying to prevent you from doing, go look at the recent snippet that Joe Rogan put on YouTube about his podcast. He took a second to talk about current events and was talking about Will Smith. If you know anything about Joe Rogan, you will find this a bit odd because Joe Rogan was just embroiled in a scandal about him saying things that he shouldn't say. He was saying the N-word and said it over and over and over again for years. But in this situation, he took the time to address the Will Smith and Chris Rock situation. I get it. He's a comic. He's got something to say. And in general, I get how he as a comic would come up with the response that he did, but he stepped on every landmine that we've been trying to get our mutuals and those who frequent our content not to step on. And so that is all we were trying to do, in addition to keeping ourselves from being triggered and harmed by what you would say. Because in that video, Joe Rogan clearly steps on the landmines. He clearly gives a response and conducts a discussion that wholly ignores the lived experience of persons of color. People who are demelanated, you suffer from a lack of knowledge, right? And so unless you are going to, as many of my mutuals who are going to watch this, unless you are going to educate yourselves, and even if you educate yourself, let me not get y'all in some trouble. Just don't talk about it. Just support and listen. Because Joe Rogan, who would be perfect at doing anti-racist work because of the people who are in his core audience, in the situation he unfortunately fell. So I'm not going to go into it. I'm not anti Joe Rogan, but I'm anti him not taking the opportunity to recognize what he doesn't know. Because in this situation, he really put his foot to his mouth, and he was unable to address what was really going on in that situation that involved an African-American woman and two African-American men, and a whole lot of trauma and issues and lived experience, even between all three of them. So that's why, guys, we're just setting a boundary. Just don't do it. I mean, I know you wanted to say he was angry and this is the way he should have handled it, but you guys were failing the assignment left and right.